So welcome to all of you Shiksha 360, and today we will cover basically chapter number 22 part 1, human implications of organization. Clear? As we have already discussed that basically module C topics are very important for your examination point of view, but that these topics are totally theoretical topics. Clear? So I request to all of you, please go through the slides also, and these video sessions basically give you a basic idea. Clear? Basically regarding these topics. Clear? So let's start our topic, human implication of organizations. And in this session, basically, we will discuss regarding the motivation, clear, and different theories of the motivation. So can anyone tell from where the word motivation derives? Please tell fast. If anyone know, can anyone tell basically from where the word motivation derives? So let's discuss all these things in this session. Basically, they have already asked this question in the exam. Clear? In the exam, they have already asked this question in the year 2018 or 2019. Clear? This question they have already asked. Clear? So let's discuss. So what is motivation? Clear? Before moving towards basically from where we will get this word, first of all, we will discuss basically what is a motivation. Clear? So motivation, it is a process beginning from inner state of a person. Clear? Motivation, it is a process basically beginning from inner state of a person and ending with the need fulfillment. Clear? Basically when we our needs are fulfilled, then it is to be ended. Clear? So basically it is a process beginning from inner state of a person and ending with the need fulfillment. For example, basically when an employee works hard, his level of motivation may be considered. Clear? For example, basically when an employee works hard, his level of motivation may be considered as high. Clear? That's why basically that person is working hard. And if he avoids work, clear, if the person is not doing work, his motivation level may be considered as a low. Clear? His motivation level may be considered as a low in that case. Clear? So the level of motivation, clear, the level of motivation in an employee basically can be just by his actual work behavior. Clear? If they it's work basically motivation, basically if the employee works hard, then its motivation level is to be high, and if he avoids work, then its motivation level is to be considered as a low. Clear? So basically the level of motivation of an employee can be just by his actual work behavior. The managers, clear, or basically we can say that higher authorities, clear, the managers are therefore interested in knowing the factors which motivate employees to work hard and also the factors which contribute to demotivation. Clear? So basically our managers or basically our higher authorities basically therefore interested. Clear? Basically therefore they are interested basically in knowing the factors. Clear? Basically in knowing the factors basically which are which motivate. Clear? Basically they want to know the factors basically which motivate employees to work hard and also the factors basically which contribute to demotivation. Clear? So every human being so every human being has a given level of satisfaction at a given point of time. Clear? Every human being basically has a given level of satisfaction at a given point of time. Clear? So motivation as a behavioral concept. Clear? Motivation as a behavioral concept is of great interest. Clear? Motivation as a behavioral concept is of great interest to the executives and managers in an organization today. Clear? They have already asked this question. Second question basically, first question is basically which we have already discussed here. In the next slide we will discuss. First question basically motivation. They will ask motivation as a which concept. Clear? So you have to remember basically motivation as a behavioral concept. Clear? Motivation as a behavioral concept is of great interest. Clear? Behavioral concept they will ask in the blank. Clear? So motivation as a behavioral concept is of great importance. Clear? Basically it is of great importance or great interest to the executives and managers in an organization today. Clear? So one of the biggest problem a manager faces is how to motivate the people working under him. Clear? So basically presently one of the main problem which they are facing basically, what is the main problem which they are facing is basically how to motivate. Clear? So basically what are the sources to motivate the employees? Clear? Like all of you are working in the banks. Clear? So many of you are already sitting late in the banks. Clear? So basically it depends upon your manager or the branch. Clear? How they motivate you to sitting late. Clear? Either like they that saying that basically group dinner or weekend outing. Clear? It depends upon authority to authority. Clear? and some are basically not cooperating. Clear? It depends upon authority to authority. Clear? So let's move towards the other one. So basically the word motivation, second question which they will ask, already asked. Clear? The word motivation is derived from the Latin word movere. Clear? This is the question. Basically, it is derived from which word? Movere. Movere. Clear? Motivation. That is basically means to move. Clear? So accordingly, it attempts to account for the drives and wants of an individual rather than just focusing on the individual's actions. Clear? So basically, it attempts to account for the drives and wants of an individual rather than just focusing on the individual's actions. Clear? So the term motivation, clear, the term motivation is commonly used and understood by everyone, but there is no uniform definition of the term. One can find as many definitions as the number of books on the subject. Clear? Basically, as this is not specific definition. Clear? So in the simplest form, motivation in an organizational context is referred as the extent of willingness of an employee to respond to the organizational requirements. Clear? Or in its simplest form, motivation, basically what is motivation? Motivation is an organizational context. Clear? Motivation is an organizational context is referred as the extent of willingness. Clear? Is referred as the extent of willingness of an employee to respond to the organizational requirements. Clear? To respond to the organizational requirements. Clear? So motivation is generally directed. Clear? Motivation is generally directed consequentially or unconsciously. Clear? Generally directed consciously or unconsciously towards the satisfaction of needs. Clear? Motivation is generally directed basically towards the satisfaction of needs or our motives. Clear? So motivation has direct impact on the job performance of individuals. Clear? Basically motivation has direct impact on the job performance of the individual. Like we can say that if we want to become the employee of the month, clear, so basically we have to do hard work. Clear? Or we have to achieve this target. Clear? So basically these are the things basically which they are saying that. Clear? It depends upon things to things. Clear? That's why basically the last line is the meaning of that. Basically motivation has a direct impact. Clear? Motivation has a direct impact on the performance of the individual. Clear? Motivation has a direct impact on the job performance of the individual. Now, basically, these are very, very important for your examination point of view. And definitely from that, you will get 3 marks question. Clear? Definitely from this, you will get 3 to 4 marks question. We will expect 3 to 4 mark question basically from that. Theories of motivation. Clear? Theories of motivation. When you will read this, basically, sometimes it looks like not interesting. Clear? But here I will help you to understand in a very layman form. Clear? So basically, what are the various? There are total 10 theories of motivation. Clear? The various theories of motivation, there are total 10 theories of motivation. First one is scientific management. Clear? First theory is basically here is to be scientific management. Clear? Scientific management or rational economic view. Clear? Basically this theory is given by F.W. Taylor. So first question basically from the theories of motivation is this theory is given by which person? Clear? Second one theory is to be human relation model. Clear? Second theory here is to be basically human relation model, that is given by Alton Mouth. This theory is given by Alton Mouth. Third one is Abraham's Maslow needs hierarchy theory. Basically this is already given. This will be given by Abraham Maslow. Clear? Fourth one is Frederick Heisenberg two-factor theory. Clear? Frederick Heisenberg two-factor theory. So two-factor theory is given by Frederick Heisenberg. Clear? Frederick Heisenberg. Next one is ERG theory. Clear? Basically they will given you in the examination ERG theory. So ERG theory, this question they have already asked in the 2020. ERG theory is given by basically Clanton Elder Fur. Clear? Elder Fur. Next is basically achievement motivation theory. Clear? Next theory, or basically we can say that sixth theory is given by the achievement motivation theory. It is given by David C. McClelland. Clear? David C. McClelland. Next one is basically expectancy model. Clear? Expectancy model. This is given by basically Brooms. Clear? Victor H. Brooms. Clear? Basically this is given by Victor H. Brooms. Next one basically Adams equity theory. Clear? Adams equity theory. Adams equity theory. This theory is given by James Stacy Adams. Clear? James Stacy Adams. Clear? Basically, they have asked how they will ask. Basically, equity theory is given by James Stacy Adams. Clear? So basically, here I will write name in front of all the theories, but in the examination they will ask question. Clear? Performance satisfaction model. Clear? Performance satisfaction model. It is given by. Clear? Next one is basically performance satisfaction model. It is given by Lehman W. Porter and Edward E. Law. Clear? And Edward E. Law. Last one is basically the reinforcement theory. Clear? Last theory is basically the reinforcement theory, and basically this is given by B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner. Clear? So these are the 10 theories. Clear? Basically, these are the 10 theories of the motivation. Clear? These are the 10 theories of motivation, and these are very, very interesting. Clear? These theories are very, very interesting. If we understand properly, these theories are very, very interesting. Clear? So let's understand all these theories properly. Clear? So let's start our discussion. First one is scientific management or rational economic view. Clear? First one which we have to understand here is to be scientific management or rational economic view. Clear? So basically this theory we have already discussed. This is given by the F.W. Taylor. Clear? F.W. Taylor. Clear? As basically we know that basically earlier time there are no HRD department. Clear? So basically humans are to be treated as basically a similar to the source of basically treated to a similar to the machine. Clear? Basically like that, basically a production agent. Clear? So this theory is basically related on that. Clear? Scientific management. Clear? So F.W. Taylor, he is also known as the father of scientific management. Clear? If they ask in the examination basically who is father of the scientific management, so basically F.W. Taylor is the father of the scientific management. Basically has contributed much to the theory of motivation. Clear? So scientific management, it is basically a set of methods. Clear? Or basically they can say that basically we have to introduce new techniques or technology in our work to make it more efficient. Clear? Or basically get more production. Clear? So scientific management, it is basically a set of methods and techniques applied to organization of work. Clear? Applied to organization of work at the operational level, basically for the purpose of increasing efficiency. Clear? Basically for the purpose of increasing efficiency. Clear? Like we can say that, but these theories are very negative impacts. Like we can relate this one. Clear? Like many of the banks now what they will do, basically they will now eliminate the duty of security guard or armed guard. They say that basically there is no need of the security guard or armed guard in the branches. Clear? And basically why they said no duty, and they have to say that basically they save money from that. Clear? Similarly they are saying similar, we can relate this one. Clear? He believed that basically the best way to increase output basically was to improve the techniques and methods used by the workers. Clear? Here basically they are saying that installing properly cameras, fire equipment, but they are not giving the armed guard. Clear? So basically workers has to adjust to the management and not the management to the people. Clear? Here basically workers had to adjust to the management and not the management to the people. Clear? So Taylor's logical and rational approach to management explained that people are primarily motivated. Clear? Basically what they are saying that basically how they will increase the output, basically people are primarily motivated. Clear? People are primarily motivated by economic considerations. Clear? People are primarily motivated by economic consideration and will exert more. Clear? Or basically they will work more if offered opportunity to improve their economic gains. Clear? If offered opportunity to improve their economic gains, basically we can simply say that enhance their salary. This is the simple language they are saying that. Clear? So basically put simply, Taylor's theory stated that physical work could be scientifically studied to determine. Clear? Physical work could be scientifically studied to determine the optimal method of performing a job. Clear? Basically how we can perform the job. So basically they can be think over as a scientifically. Clear? Workers could thereafter be made more efficient by giving prescriptions for how to do their jobs. Clear? Basically they are saying that basically they have to make the guidelines. Clear? That this work is to be done in this way. Clear? So basically these are the things. Clear? So workers could be more efficient. Clear? they are saying that basically if we provide them basically how to do this work, so workers have to become more efficient. Third one is workers would be willing to adhere to these prescriptions. Clear? Basically, they are saying that what they have given, providing the rules, they have to follow that rules. If a paid on a differential piece work basis, clear, and they have to paid according to that, basically how much they work they will do. Clear? So scientific approach to motivation based on a rational economic way. Clear? Basically, rational economic view has, however, been criticized severely. Clear? In particularly, behavioral scientists have argued that Taylor and his colleagues dehumanized workers by treating them as mere factors of production. Clear? Basically, they have already this question in many times in the examination. Basically, which theory dehumanized workers basically by treating them as mere factors of production? That is basically known as scientific theory. Clear? Scientific management theory or rational economic view. Clear? Which could who could be manipulated completely through economic incentives. Clear? There is one more word, that is rebel hypothesis. Rebel hypothesis. They have already asked these words also many times in the examination or 1 mark question. Clear? So the most fundamental problem with the Taylor's approach from a motivational viewpoint is considered with his rather simplistic assumption about the human behavior. Clear? Taylor believed that workers would be motivated more by the need for money. Clear? Taylor believed that workers would be motivated more by the need for money. Clear? So this assumption is called as basically rebel hypothesis. Clear? This assumption is basically called as rebel hypothesis. He thought that the primary interest of the worker is economic gain. Clear? Basically, he thought that the primary interest, clear, that is basically to earn more. Clear? Is economic gain in the form of higher wages. Contrary to this rebel hypothesis, what the workers want. Clear? This is the thinking of the Taylor. And what is the thinking of worker? Basically, contrary to this hypothesis, workers seek satisfaction of a variety of needs in the workplace, like need for security, social fulfillment, and a challenging job, including pay. Clear? So basically, on the other hand, basically what workers seek, what workers want here, basically, workers seek satisfaction of a variety of needs. Clear? Basically, they seek satisfaction of a variety of needs in the workplace, basically like need for security, social fulfillment, and a challenging job, including pay. Clear? And a challenging job, including a pay. This is the demand of the workers. Clear? So basically here we will discuss in detail regarding the scientific management or rational economic view. So hope this theory is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, any query or any question, then you can ask. And next one, basically we will move towards the second here is to be human relation model. Clear? Human relation model, and this model is to by done Alton Mayo. Clear? Alton Mayo in 1920 and early 1930s conducted Haberthon studies at Western Electric Company. He found that in addition to finding the best technology methods regarding the first theory, clear, these theories are totally interrelatable with each other. Clear? First one is basically saying that scientific or technical ways. Clear? They are saying that basically in addition to that, clear, in addition to finding the best technological methods to improve output. Clear? Basically in the first theory, they have not considering the feelings of the employee. Clear? But there they will say that human relations are most important. Clear? Management needs to look into the human affairs. Clear? So human relation model basically say that side by side. Clear? In addition to the technological methods to improve the output, basically management needs to look into the human affairs. Clear? Basically management look into the needs of the human affairs also here. So the real power centers within an organization were the interpersonal relations. Clear? The real power centers within an organization basically were the interpersonal relations that developed within the working unit. Clear? That developed within the working units. Clear? Basically they say that the real power centers within an organization was the interpersonal relations. Clear? How is the relation between the workers? Clear? Were the interpersonal relations that developed within the working unit. Clear? So the organizations what to be developed around the workers and had to take into consideration human feelings and attitudes. Clear? Basically they have to consider the human feelings and attitudes. Clear? The leader was to facilitate cooperation, for attainment of goals by followers. Clear? Facilitate cooperation basically for the attainment of goals by followers. Leader was to provide opportunity. Clear? Basically for the personal growth and development of workers. Clear? So the main focus here was on individual needs rather than the organizational needs. Clear? Basically in the human relation model, what was the main focus? Clear? The main focus here was basically on the individual needs. Clear? Here the main focus was basically based on the human needs or individual needs rather than the organizational needs. Clear? So you have to remember this. What is the basic difference between the human relation model and the scientific theory? So eventually it becomes clear. Eventually here it becomes clear that the assumption that the workers are primarily motivated by money may not be correct. Clear? As per this theory, Alton Mayo and his team found that the social context, clear, that the social context the workers have at workplace are also important. Clear? Mayo and other also believe that the managers could motivate employees by acknowledging their social needs and by making them feel useful and important. Clear? This is very, very important. And basically, basically how the managers could motivate employees basically by acknowledging their social needs and by making them feel useful and important. As a result, employees were given some freedom to make their own decisions on their jobs. Greater attention was paid to the organizational informal work groups. More information was provided to the employees about the manager's intention and about the operation of the organization. Clear? Because if all the employees know about how the organization will work in the future, so they think that they are also the main members of the organization because they know all the important things of the organization. Clear? So all the important views. So in the scientific management model, the workers were expected to accept the management authorities basically in a return for high wages. Clear? If they accept, they will get more money. But in the human relation model, workers were expected to accept management authority because the supervisors treated them with consideration and were attentive to their needs. Clear? Because supervisors treated them with the consideration and were attentive to their needs. Clear? And were attentive to their needs. So the problem with the, what is the problem? The problem with the human relation model, it's undue reliance on the social context at work situation for motivating employees. Clear? So basically this will undue reliance, clear, basically overall dependence, clear, on social context at work situation for motivating employees. Clear? So social context, so desirable by themselves, do not always help motivate workers. Clear? Basically they are saying that social context is important. Clear? Social context, so desirable by themselves, do not always help motivate workers. Clear? But in all the cases, clear, this will not help to motivate workers. Clear? But in the cases, this will not help the workers for motivation. Clear? So this is basically our human relation model. Please tell fast. Hope both the models which we have discussed, scientific management and second one is human relation model, it is clear to all of you or not? If you have any doubt, any question, then you can ask. But I will give you the guarantee that they will ask questions from that in the examination. Clear? Basically, question from these topics they will ask in the examination. Clear? Next one, basically, we have to discuss the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Clear? Very, very important. First question they will ask from this is basically what is the hierarchy? Clear? Basically, which need we have to fulfill first and after that. Clear? Hierarchy is very, very important. Clear? Here, hierarchy is very, very important. Clear? MCQs will be provided in the Telegram group. Clear? Basically for that. But you have to understand all these theories. Clear? Basically, Abraham Maslow, a clinical psychologist from USA, submitted that people have the following 5 basic level of needs. Clear? That the people have the following basically 5 basic level of needs. He identified 5 needs in an order. Clear? What is the hierarchy? Basically, first need is to be psychological needs. Second one is the safety and security needs. Clear? What is the order? Basically, first one is the psychological needs. Clear? 3 times they will ask simply the hierarchy. Clear? They will ask simply the hierarchy in the examination. Clear? First one is the psychological needs. Second one is the safety and security needs. Third one is the social needs. Fourth one is the self-esteem needs. Fifth one is the self-actualization needs. Clear? Fifth one is the self-actualization needs. Clear? So they have to proper psychological needs and safety and security needs. then social needs, then self-esteem needs, and the last one is the self-actualization needs. Clear? Self-actualization needs. Clear? So the prominence of these needs generally follow hierarchy. Clear? That is, when a need is satisfied, clear, when a need is satisfied, then only the next needs become prominent in that hierarchical order. Clear? They are saying that basically when the first need is satisfied, then only after that they will move toward the second. Clear? Then only after that they will move toward the second. Clear? But there have been found exceptions to this order for certain persons. Clear? These are prepared to sacrifice a lower order. This exception we will discuss regarding the teachers or trainers. Clear here, that's, but there have been found exception to this order. Basically, for certain persons, they are prepared to sacrifice a lower order need for achieving a higher need. Clear? They are prepared to sacrifice a lower order need, basically for achieving a higher need, like for the self-actualization need. Clear? Like this is basically for the self-actualization need. Clear? They will directly move toward that. Clear? So let's discuss what we have to discuss under that. Psychological needs. Clear? Psychological needs, basically this group of needs. Clear? Basically what we have to include the needs basically here. First need which we have to fulfill. Clear? Food, needs for food, drink, shelter, oxygen, sleep, sex, weather, etc. Clear? So these psychological needs are required to maintain the physical entity of the individual. Clear? This question they have also already asked in the examination. Basically, what needs we have to include under the psychological needs? Food, drink, shelter, oxygen, sleep, sex, weather, etc. Clear? These are psychological needs are required to maintain the physical entity of the individual. These are the basic needs in the sense that they satisfy the very livelihood of the individual for survival. Clear? These are the basic needs. Clear? Basically for the survival of the human being. Clear? For the survival of the human being. So psychological needs dominate human desires. Clear? Psychological needs basically dominate human desires, and only when these needs are reasonably satisfied, one attention turns to other needs. Clear? Basically when these needs are satisfied, only then basically we will move toward the other. Basically next one is basically safety or security needs. Clear? So in the organizational context, psychological needs are represented by the employees concerned, basically for salaries and good physical working conditions. Clear? So the organization should therefore endeavor to satisfy the psychological needs of the employee. Only then they will be motivated to perform better. Clear? If the psychological needs, clear, psychological needs of the employee is satisfied, clear, only then they will be motivated to perform better. Clear? Only then basically they will be motivated to perform better. Clear? So this is the psychological needs. Clear? Next we will move towards the safety and security needs. Clear? Basically if the psychological needs is to be satisfied, then we will move towards the safety and security needs. Clear? So what they will tell. So safety needs here become the motivators after psychological needs are met. Maslow suggested that the safety needs are most readily observed in infants and young children. Clear? Basically this is are most readily observed in infants and young children because of their relative helplessness and total dependence on the adults. Clear? Because infants and children basically are total dependent on the adults. So safety and security needs. Clear? Safety and security needs in the organizational context relate to factors. Clear? Basically what safety or security regarding the job safety or security. Clear? These are related with the job security, salary increases, safe working conditions, unionization, and lobbying. Clear? And lobbying from protective legislation. Clear? Managerial practices to satisfy the safety needs of the employees, including pension scheme, group insurance, provident fund, gratuity, safe working condition, grievance procedure, etc. Clear? These all are to be satisfied here. Clear? Safety and security needs. Clear? Arbitrary or unpredictable actions. Clear? Arbitrary or unpredictable actions which create a feeling of uncertainty. Clear? Which create a feeling of uncertainty, like particularly regarding continued employment or favoritism or discrimination on the part of the management, do not create a feeling of security in the employer's mind. Clear? Do not create a feeling of security in the employer mind. Clear? Favoritism or discrimination on the part of the management basically do not create a feeling of security. Clear? Basically do not create a feeling of security in the employee's mind, clear, in the employee's mind, clear. So this is basically safety and security needs, clear. Basically after the completion of this, we will move towards the social, clear. Third one is the social needs, clear. Third one is the social needs, clear. So this need is expressed, clear. Basically this need is expressed through the desire to belongings and affections in a social context, clear. Through the desires to belonging and affection in a social context, clear. So in the organizational context, social needs, what it represent? Social needs represent the need for a compatible work group, clear. Peer acceptance basically means that colleagues acceptance, professional friendship, and friendly supervision, clear. And friendly supervision, clear. So these are the needs one acquires, clear. Basically these are the needs one acquires, learns or adopts through experience, clear. Basically these are the needs one acquires, learns or adopts through experience, and these needs are mostly culturally determined, clear. Depend upon culture to culture, basically these needs are mostly culturally determined, clear. So there are largely a manifestation of the desire to belong and be accepted by others, clear. Managers would do well to encourage informal groups amongst the employees so that this need is adequately met, clear. So care should be taken that the informal groups should not work contrary to the requirements of the organization, clear. And one thing you have to remember that, clear, these informal groups, clear. Basically these informal groups work basically towards the organization, clear, not against. So maybe if workers have the freedom to form their own work teams and decide upon the distribution of work within the teams, and to that effect organization the team, one may be able to see a productive outcome, clear. Basically even in this type, basically workers have the freedom to form their own work teams and decide upon the distribution of work within the teams, and to that effect, clear, and to that effect organize the team, or may be able to see a productive outcome, clear. Basically in the last, what is the requirement? That is productive outcome, clear. Outcome, clear. Productive outcome, clear. Next one is it to be self-esteem needs, clear. Basically self-esteem needs, very very important, clear. Last time in the year 2021, they asked 3 questions from that, clear. 3 questions from that, basically from the single slide, clear. So the esteem needs for self-respect, clear. Esteem needs basically for the self-respect and recognition and for the respect of others, clear. And for the respect of others are often referred to as ego or status needs, clear. This is also sometimes ego or status needs, clear. So the satisfaction of this need, clear. The satisfaction of this needs generates a feeling of self-confidence, clear. The satisfaction of this needs basically generates a feeling of self-confidence and of being useful and necessary in the world, clear. Basically they are thinking that that person is very very important, clear, and useful, unnecessary in the world for that specific work, clear. So in contrast, the thwarting of this needs basically leads to a feeling of inferiority, ineptness, weakness, and helplessness, clear. So Maslow emphasized that the healthiest self-esteem is based on the earned respect, clear. So basically what it emphasizes, clear. First question basically from this, basically what is the healthiest self-esteem? Basically it's based on the earned respect, clear, from others rather than on fame, status, or adultation, clear. Rather than on fame, status, or adultation, clear. So in the context of workplace, self-esteem needs correspond to basically to the job title, merit, pay increase, peer, basically friendship circle, and supervisory recognition, clear. Challenging work, responsibility, etc., clear. And on the basis of managerial practices to fulfill these needs, including challenging work assignments, performance feedback, performance recognition, performance encouragement, and involving employees in goal setting and decision making, clear. Clear. So managerial practices basically to fulfill these needs, including challenging work assignments, performance feedback, performance recognition, clear, to recognize the performance, and performance encouragement or personal encouragement, and involving employees, clear. Basically and involving employees in goal setting and decision making, clear. And involving employees basically regarding what? In goal setting and decision making, clear. So this is the self-esteem needs, clear. And here one need basically we will left self-actualization need, basically which we have to cover in the next session, clear. Basically which we have to cover in the next session, and then in the next session we have covered the other theories also, but I will ask you, please go through the slides, clear. Please go through the slides of all these, and will provide you the MCQs in the group. Clear? Will provide you the MCQs in the group for better understanding. Clear? So basically in this session we will discuss the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, human relation model, scientific management or rational economic view. Clear? All these 10 theories. Clear? Basically who will give this theory? We have already covered. Clear? We have already covered. Basically one question we will definitely get, basically which theory is given by which person. Clear? Which theory is given by which person. Clear? And what is the, from where the word motivation is to be derived. Clear? So you have to remember all these things. Clear? So thanks to all of you for attending this session.